Hello everyone, my name is Cristian Negulescu. You know me for a lot of automation with UiPath. So today we'll talk about connection to ChatGPT calling UiPath, but in a different way. Let's see what the idea with this different way to understand what is different from other. So let's go in ChatGPT and send this comment. So I have a GPTs already created, and I say start location, Romania, and the end location, it's UK. Core form, we confirm that we call an workflow. In this workflow, we'll take the two inputs, the start location, which is Romania, and the end location, which is UK. And this workflow will return a value. So he combined the two values and he will put an arrow between Romania and UK. Yeah. So in this way, I will show you how the result that the workflow generated with UiPath can come back to ChatGPT. So you can see that inside of ChatGPT, the system was able to display the result that was created with UiPath. That's important because until now on all the videos, we show how we send something from ChatGPT and send an email or create a document or modify a document and something like this. But we don't get the result in ChatGPT. Now we are able to get the result in ChatGPT, but this is a totally different approach. Let's understand. So until now, the approach was like this. So let's go to Studio and understand what was the approach on the last videos, because I did a lot of videos on this one. So on the videos with the ChatGPT, normally on the beginning of the process, we define a webhook, yeah? And we set inside of the ChatGPT, we set the address of the webhook. The system was able to connect directly to the webhook, no authentication needed. And when something is coming on the webhook, the process was starting and everything is okay. Good. But in this case with the webhook, we just send the data to the process and the process is starting. Now we want to get data from the process. If it's on the case that I want to get data from the process, I need to use another approach. If you remember on my videos, we have a lot of videos from Postman and how to call a UiPath robot, yeah? So how to call a UiPath robot from Postman, if it's with modern folder, simple folder, and so on, yeah? And what are the comments to authenticate, to start the process, and so on. Unfortunately, ChatGPT, it's a little bit limited here on the, when you say explore GPTs and you want to create a GPT, you say test this one, some instruction, and here when you say create action, on the webhook we have authentication 9. If we want to start a process, we need to communicate with UiPath Orchestrator. And to communicate with UiPath Orchestrator, we need to provide him an API key and a bear token. The UiPath Orchestrator protocol tell us that we need to do a lot of steps. I mean, you have to do the authentication, you have to tell the tenant name and so on. So there are a lot of steps on this stuff, and we need to do multiple comments. Unfortunately, ChatGPT it's able to get only one comment without headers, without putting headers. So to solve this problem, I approach this problem in a different way. So if we go to the orchestrator, here inside of the orchestrator, first remember that we need a token. Yeah, so you need a bear token. As ChatGPT tell, you need an API and a bear token. But this API should be an API that normally when you authenticate to the orchestrator, you get a token that is valid for for an hour or something like this. Yeah, so you need a permanent token. To be able to get the permanent token, you get inside of the orchestrator, you go to admin, and you have here external application, and here you will have personal access token, yeah? And I have my token Christy here. But I'm not able to build it from here. So let me show you from where I'm able to build this token, to create this token. I will go to my account, to preference, personal access token. This is token that I created for this text. generate a token. I will put the name and I will put that it's working for, let's say, 180 days. Yeah, something like this. And I have to select also what type of API I want. In my case, I want the orchestrator API. API. I don't need, so I will not create the token, but here you create the token and you have that token that will be available for a lot of days. Good. Now, when you send data to, uh, if you remember, Postman UiPath rocks, this one. On this website, you will see that how you send data to the orchestrator. But when you send data to the orchestrator, for example, to start job on model folders, you need to provide these headers. And ChatGPT doesn't is not allowing you to put these headers. It's just allowing to put bare token or one custom header. So here we have multiple headers. So you are not able to do this stuff. So to be able to call ChatGPT from UiPath, you need to do another approach. So here inside of the orchestrator, you will go on automation and let me triggers and go to API triggers. Okay, and here you are able to create an API trigger. So if I create this API trigger, I will not. I don't need to put the headers and all that stuff on the. So what I want to do, I want to do a post. Yeah, let's say test YouTube. Test YouTube. Okay. What process I want to use? Let's put it just test. Yeah. Here, what is the name? YouTube. YouTube. If I want a process that the system will call the UiPath and then has to wait for the response, that means I want a synchronized process because he need to wait for the response. Then I have to put it here on cloud, yeah, and on any machine. And when I hit add, he will create this process to me, yeah. And here, if I will say copy, I will copy the curl, yeah. And with this curl, I will put it inside of the schema. Remember that I have a schema with in ChatGPT. So on the first video, I have to create a schema. Let me just paste it here, for example. Okay, so you see, I don't have headers. So the headers is just the bare token, yeah, with my token. I have here a link that will go exactly to this API request, and this API request will put it inside of the schema. I will show you my schema, and you'll understand that. Okay, so this is the approach to be able to build it to make the call from ChatGPT. Let me show you a little what I configure in on the stuff. So on the one that is working, let's say GPT, I have here some data that is to start location, end location. I have an input variable and two inputs variable and an output variable. The process that I showed there, it's an, let's see the process, because it was just a demo. You saw that I say the start location is Romania and the end location it's England, UK. So the process just has two input variables, and the output it's a concatenation between with these variables, and I add an arrow between these variables, yeah, to show just that I'm able to get the data and I'm able to output data back to ChatGPT. Good. So this is the process. Let's understand what I said. So here in the instruction, I say you have to extract the variables. You need to stay star location. You must call after the location. And let's understand what I have inside of the schema. Inside of the schema here, inside of the action of not the schema. Okay. inside of the action, I have this connection that is API key. So it's API key with bear token, and that is my key there. And here I put the call for the webhook not the webhook URL, the URL that I extract from here from triggers. Yeah. So the URL that I have here on the triggers, I put it there. Yeah. Then I have input variables. So I have the two input variables and the output variable. Yeah. Again, I put to be able to write the schema. I write it with the ChatGPT. I say to ChatGPT, please write a schema for me that has two input variables with this name and one output variable with this name. Yeah. And as usual, I have the post one. We can test it also from here, but you already see that that is working. So here he will create some dummy value for the input variables. We will see that ChatGPT was able to send a command to UiPath robot. So he's starting the robot. And after the robot will be able to concatenate the two strings, we will get the response on ChatGPT. So New York to Los Angeles. Yeah. So that's the idea on how to configure this communication bidirectionally. Yeah. So let's recap to understand the main difference. When we just call a process, we go and put an webhook inside of the studio web and put the address of the webhook inside of ChatGPT. Yeah, so we have a webhook. This is a big one. We have the webhook. Put the webhook here. Put the address inside of the ChatGPT, and that's it. And we put there no authentication. If we want to send data from ChatGPT to UiPath and get some data back in ChatGPT, we need to use connection via orchestrator. Yeah. So we need to API. So you need to authentication to be API. We need a bear token. We need to create this this permanent token from here. It's from preference, personal access token, create a personal access token and use that token. And we need to configure we need to configure inside of the orchestrator, we need to configure API triggers. And API triggers, we configure inside of the API triggers what we want. So inside of the triggers of the API triggers, we configure what we want, and then we put the address that we have here from API triggers. We put the address of the from here inside of ChatGPT URL, and then we provide variables to that one. And in this way, we call the process and we are able to get data inside of ChatGPT. So that's the idea on the video from today. Please comment to my movies and ask me what else you want to see in my movies. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Have a good one. Bye-bye.